into, well, the referee abuse controversies that completely overshadowed the 2026 World Cup. We're pulling from match reports from that chaotic Argentina-Spain final, FIFA's disciplinary codes, and the U.S. Soccer Referee Abuse Prevention Policy 531-9. Our mission today is to basically categorize these intense on-field infractions and explore the exact punishments these players are facing.
Yeah, there is a lot of ground to cover with this one.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because usually, a sporting event is like a perfectly calibrated machine. You cross the line, the whistle blows, the referee points, and everyone just moves on.
Right. Yeah, the logic is supposed to be totally binary, like foul or no foul. It's clean.
Exactly. But the 2026 World Cup completely broke that machine. Specifically, I'm looking at that wild Argentina-Spain final. Spain won 1-0, but the real story, the only thing anyone actually remembers, was that massive post-match brawl.
Oh, absolutely. And what's fascinating here is that this brawl, it wasn't just some isolated incident. It was really the boiling point of an entire tournament that was just plagued by unprecedented abuse toward the officials.
Yeah, because if you think of the referee as like a nuclear control rod, right? They're meant to absorb all that radioactive heat of the players' emotions and keep the match stable. But in that final, the control rod completely melted down.
It really did.
Right after the final whistle, Argentina's Leandro Paredes gets a straight red card for literally grabbing Spain's Gavi by the throat. It was as if a heavyweight boxing match just suddenly broke out on a soccer pitch.
Well, the underlying tension had been brewing for weeks. FIFA was desperately trying to crack down on this toxicity because, the scale of it was just immense.
How immense are we talking?
Well, during the tournament, FIFA had to delete over 7 million abusive social media posts.
Wait, 7 million? Seriously?
Yeah, 7 million posts directed at players, coaches, and officials.
That is just an incomprehensible volume of hate.
It is. And since they couldn't just contain it online, they had to start policing the physical space on the pitch for completely new ways. Like the new mouth covering rule.
Oh, right, where players receive a red card simply for covering their mouths while arguing.
Exactly, which on the surface sounds ridiculous, right?
Yeah, getting ejected for touching your face.
Right, but the mechanism behind it is actually entirely about transparency. Historically, players would cover their mouths during confrontations, so lip readers and broadcast cameras couldn't catch them using racist or homophobic slurs.
Wow, okay, so outlawing the mouth cover removes that shield completely.
Exactly. If you're going to confront someone, you can't hide what you're saying.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. How do the official rulebooks actually classify an action like grabbing a player's throat?
Well, if we look at the U.S. Soccer Policy 531-9 penalties matrix, choking or striking falls under a level 3 physical offense.
Okay, and what does that actually mean for the player?
It's severe. It carries a minimum 12-month ban, and it can actually go all the way up to a lifetime ban.
A lifetime ban? But wait, looking at FIFA's disciplinary codes, for violent conduct on the international stage, like choking, the minimum penalty is a mere 3-match suspension.
Just 3 matches, yep.
So hold on. A local amateur could receive a lifetime ban for the exact same throat-grabbing infraction that might only cost an international superstar 3 matches.
That is the reality, yes.
That is a massive double standard.
It's huge. But you have to look at the underlying financial mechanism here. FIFA is dealing with billion-dollar broadcast deals and incredibly powerful player unions.
Right, so benching a global star for a year would just completely tank viewership.
Tank viewership, alienate sponsors, you name it. They are practically forced to be lenient to keep their most lucrative product on the field.
So the stakes are just too high for FIFA to enforce grassroots-level discipline.
Exactly. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this matters directly to you, the listener. Because the consequence of that broadcast pressure is that the behavior tolerated on the world's biggest stage trickles directly down to the local youth and amateur leagues in your community.
Right. When kids see their idols grabbing throats and only missing a few games, it normalizes that behavior.
It normalizes the violence against peers and against local referees.
Right.
Referees who, by the way, do not have a stadium security detail to protect them.
So what does this all mean? We are essentially left with this stark contrast between grassroots strictness trying to protect basic human safety and elite leniency dictated by broadcast stakes.
It creates a totally unsustainable environment for the human officials who actually have to enforce these rules.
Which leaves you with a final thought to ponder. If human referees require constant protection from this escalating abuse and the rules are this drastically uneven, Will the chaos of 2026 finally push FIFA to replace on-field officials entirely with emotionless AI and drones? Maybe taking human emotion out of it is the only way to finally clean up the beautiful game.